right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, fellow pandemic travelers. This is day 73 of the Seattle pandemic shutdown. And this is I-5 South, about 2:30 p.m. So, there are prostitutes back on Aurora Avenue. So, nature is healing itself. Not a lot. Not as many as I've seen in the past. There was like a little smattering of them. And with, Leo's not, cops not really enforcing much of anything these days. Yeah. They're gonna do that. Who are the brave souls who are getting down with streetwalkers, though? I mean, they need to work too, I guess. Some brave soul. Anyways, what else? What else is dumb? So we're obsessed with hydroxychloroquine again because Trump said he takes it. I don't know. I don't care. I don't know why we have to go over this again and again and again. It's like Groundhog Day. It's even worse because of the freaking pandemic. Stupid news is stupid. But they were arresting people in New Jersey for going to the gym. Not a good look, but everyone's also got to keep an eye on places like Georgia, right? Because Georgia, reopened. North Dakota never even locked down in the first place, so, we got to keep an eye on those places to see how it actually plays out, because maybe the R0 is much lower than was originally thought, and maybe it's not as contagious as we thought. It's hard to know. Gotta wait for the data, and all the data is all skewed and confusing and mixed up, and, it's obnoxious. But speaking of R0 and masks and PPE and such, so I saw today, CNBC headline anyway, that even cloth masks can reduce the spread of COVID-19 specifically. I forget if it was COVID or if it's just, most diseases, by 75%. So if that's accurate, then everyone wear masks. Then you run into this other problem. And I understand the thought process, but I'm telling you, it's not the way you think it is, people. So for example, saw a video. Guy's at Costco, and he's confronted by a manager. Manager's demanding that he wear a mask, and manager says he has to leave, and he takes the guy's grocery cart away. And the guy's like, no, I'm not going to put on a mask, and if I'm not allowed to shop here without a mask, then I'm not going to shop here. Okay, fine. Because I'm not a sheep, he says. This is one of these issues. Sure, you can think this whole thing is overblown and you don't need to wear a mask. Guess what? Costco, in its desire to turn a profit, doesn't want to become a giant transmission vector for a coronavirus that then spreads and kills a bunch of people, kills their customers, which means they permanently lose those customers, and other people will then not go to Costco, so then they'll lose money, and then they'll fire employees and close locations. Yeah, so they can require that you wear pants, a shirt, shoes, and now a mask. If they wanted you to wear a hairnet, they could probably do that too. It's up to them. It's their business. It's not a bad idea as well, because you're maybe you're reducing the spread of just flu and stuff, right? I mean, we all got to compromise a little bit here, but businesses voluntarily kind of insisting that people wear masks is the responsible thing to do based on the information we have, okay? And as I've said from the beginning of this thing, if you are doing an appeal to authority, essentially, you're saying that the CDC, the people who claim to know, i.e. our institutions of public health, have told us that PPE, like gloves and masks and face shields and everything, and, gowns and whatnot, will help reduce the spread of the disease. And if we collectively do it at a certain, if enough people do it then we will reduce the number of people exposed by, you know, exponential amounts. The more people adopt the behavior, then we reduce the amount of transmission, which reduces the number of cases, which reduces the number of deaths, which means we can all get back to work and stuff, wearing masks and, you know, staying a few feet away from each other and whatnot. I saw people having like a pandemic party today. Like 8 people on a lawn, all about 6 feet apart, standing around with masks, talking to each other, and, I don't know, drinking beers and stuff. There's, as far as I can tell, there's not anything wrong with that, which is the same thing as people going to the beaches and all this stuff. The going to the gym thing, I mean, people are breathing on each other, and that's how the disease spreads, so maybe people shouldn't be inside, even if you're sort of socially distancing within a enclosed space, which is also the argument against restaurants being open. Again, I don't really know, but this is like what we're being told, okay? So yes, there is a conform and change your behavior kind of vibe that I too am opposed to. Like, you know, I haven't been wearing a mask at work. Now they're requiring that we wear a mask, okay? Well, I wasn't wearing one for like literally months before now, but now I have to wear one all day and it's really obnoxious. Does that make a lot of sense? No, I don't think so. Will I do it? Yes, my boss has said I need to wear a mask. Okay, yes ma'am. We will do what we are told, whether it makes sense or not, to a certain point. But like, for example, going to the beach, I'm at a loss. And down in Florida, they're like, yeah, we can't enforce this. A bunch of people went out down in Florida, went to the beach. Cops are like, we can't enforce social distancing. There's too many people out here. We would just be arresting people left and right, and then you're violating social distancing by arresting them. So we got to do our best to try to make sense of all this stuff. And if wearing masks becomes a requirement to shop at a store, that is ultimately what, kind of a freedom of association thing, or like just a private business issue. It's like they're not violating their constitutional rights because you're voluntarily going to the store. Therefore, they can demand that you, again, wear shoes and pants and now a shirt and now masks. And so this I'm not a sheep thing is a really obnoxious look, and actually it does tend to, there is a political breakdown to all this, and conservatives are tending towards, you know, demanding reopen. So then it looks like just straight up on red light. I mean, come on. I don't want to wait either, but you know, come on. There we go. Conservatives gotta pay attention to the optics here. Like, are the liberals right that if everyone goes outside, then grandma will die? No, that's not what's gonna happen. But are they right to be concerned? Yeah, basically by every, you don't have a stop sign. Basically by every, you know, conceivable source of information about this thing, yes, the disease is real, yes, it's killing people, yes, it should be taken seriously, but we have to figure out the balance between getting people back to work so that, again, civilization doesn't just evaporate and disappear, and the food supply chain doesn't completely collapse, because I don't want to starve, and I don't want to have to eat people. Like Alex Jones, I'll eat your ass. I don't want to do that. That's not cool, man. Anyways, so yeah, wear the mask if the store asks you to, and if you don't want to do that, then don't shop there. Eventually, you'll have to wear one to go into a store if they all require it, and it's just something you're gonna have to deal with, despite it being an inconvenience and possibly not necessarily even that effective. It may not be effective at all. That doesn't change the fact that we're being told that it's effective, and businesses have to make the best decision with the information they have available to, again, keep their customers safe. This isn't real complicated stuff, but people are choosing to make it complicated, and I understand we all want this thing to be over. The issue is whether we can do that safely or not. It's always been the issue. Now, we can't wait for a vaccine. That is insane nonsense. There's no way we're going to keep society shuttered until we have a vaccine for this thing. Like, that ain't real life. That's just madness. Which is why people are going to abandon California in droves. in fairly short order, starting with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's going to lead the mass exodus out of California, and it'll probably be awful. It's probably going to be a disaster. Anyways, that's enough for me for one day. Remember, I go out so that some of you still don't have to. Something like that. All right, bye.